And good afternoon, Indianapolis. I am Angel Starks and sitting in for Pastor Jackson here on AM 1310, the light on unity in the community. So I hope you guys are prepared for our winter storm that has been promised to us. It's on the way. It is currently 12:05 p.m. and 31 degrees here in Indianapolis. All right, so guys, today I wanted to thank you guys for your support on social media. As I put out that I was going to be hosting today, you guys were so supportive, letting me know that you're on the other line, you're tuned in, you're on your laptops, you're on your phone, tuned in and supporting, and we certainly appreciate that. In the studio today, we have, which is one of my favorite people to interview, former NFL Corey Parchman, and the owner and founder of Many Men Pre-K Leadership Academy. He's in the studio today talking to us. Going to be my very first guest of 2019 here on Unity in the Community. So Corey, welcome to the show.
Angel, thanks for having me. Definitely appreciate you inviting me to be on your show again.
Thank you. You're welcome. We're in a different space.
Different space. Yes.
Last time I was actually in the studio for television,
Yes.
and put on a different hat today. And you're the man for the job. So it's kind of getting bad outside.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to invite a whole bunch of people. Who can I call that I think I can depend on that'll make it? And you made it.
Okay. You know, you called me like an hour ago.
Don't do me like that now.
Like the last thought.
No,
call him. He's in the area.
No,
Yeah,
I really appreciate it because I know you could be in Miami right now.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure.
Yes, I should be, but we have an obligation on Monday. We're opening a new school on Monday.
Okay.
So I'm going to be here in town.
Okay.
So
Corey, let's jump right into it. So introduce yourself a little bit. Lots of people know you, but introduce yourself to people that may not actually know you.
Okay, my name is Corey Parchman. I was born and raised in Indianapolis, in the 4621 area. Attended Manual High School, had a great career there, played football there. Went on to go to Ball State and played football at Ball State. Graduated from Ball State with a degree in elementary education. After Ball State, I played professional football. I started out with the Jacksonville Jaguars, spent time with Colts, spent time with the Packers, spent time with Oakland Raiders. So a total of 5 years I played in the NFL. So as you know, you have to have a life after NFL.
Absolutely.
So and I was an undrafted free agent. And basically what that means is none of your contracts are guaranteed. So at any point in time, you get cut. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So I knew in the beginning I need to start, A, saving money, and B, start to think about what I'm going to do next. So I got into real estate, which I'm still in today. Still heavy in real estate. I own apartment buildings around the city and other cities. But my heart has always been education.
Okay.
So I wanted to get back in education. So that's where I am now with the pre-K. I know I'm sure we'll get in that later on, but that's what I'm doing now with the pre-K. Yeah.
So, when people probably ask a lot of silly questions about, NFL and, what it's all about and, whatever. But I've heard you say what the NFL stands for. So repeat that.
Yeah, the NFL, I joke all the time. It stands for not for long. I think people see on TV these guys like Peyton Manning and, Edwin James play 15, 13 years.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's a constant rotation in there. So you see most guys may last 3 months, 2 weeks, a month. It's really short, especially on my end. Once again, an undrafted free agent, you're day to day.
Yeah.
And you constantly see guys going in and out. I tell you all the time, the funny thing is, on Thursday, they bring other guys in to work out. And you're there watching them practice. Yeah. So that's the crazy part about the NFL. Once again, it was a blessing. Great experience, but there definitely are things about the NFL. I was like, wow, this is the NFL?
This is how it goes.
Yeah, but that's business. So, and it prepares you for the rest of your life also.
And so your affiliation with the Colts, there's a pretty short and funny story with that on how people are like, oh, is he a Colts player? And I said, you got to tune in on his experience with the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts experience was pretty interesting. I just got released from Jacksonville, and the Colts called me to sign a contract with him. And the cool part about, Coach Tony Dungy, and anything you ever heard about Coach Dungy is true. This is one of the greatest guys you ever want to meet. And what he did was, and most coaches don't do this, he pulled me in the office and told me, hey, we brought you in because we have an injury to a wide receiver. And you may be here a week, maybe here a month, I don't know. But whenever he comes back, we're going to release you. Now, most NFL teams, they just cut you. They don't tell you anything.
Okay.
But he was upfront about letting me know, hey, this may happen. So going into practice, I kind of know that may happen. So I practice, we can practice, they have practice. So I go outside, and the media's everywhere. Local kids sign with the Colts. Manual High School grad. But back of my mouth thinking, I may be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean?
No.
So, but yeah, I ended up being here for a week. Then the receiver that got hurt was Quadri Ismail, and he ended up coming back a week later. and they released me, and I ended up signing back with Texas a 3-year contract. But once again, Coach Tony Dungy being up front with me about that, let me know this is the situation.
Yeah.
Most times in the NFL that doesn't happen. You find out you cut, maybe the secretary may call you, maybe the cleaning person may call you.
Right.
The head coach never, rarely tells you, especially about guys in my position, that you're about to get cut. So
right.
I appreciate that opportunity and the opportunity for them to tell me that this may be a short
right. And you can always appreciate
And one thing about the NFL I did, everywhere I went, I kept something, like a sock, a jockstrap, a shoestring, or something. I wanted to make sure I embraced everything.
I was with this team.
Yeah, so
I
can tell my kids, I promise you, it's nowhere on the stat sheet, but I promise you. So
that's right.
I kept some of the stuff that I got from the coach, so appreciate that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so going forward to your school, which when I first heard about it, I thought, wow, that's amazing. My son is 23, so I'm super old. But I was thinking that's what he needed when he was a young boy. He did not have his father active in his life. And so just having, I used to always say, the women teachers would mother him and baby him, and that's what I was doing. So he was getting like a double dose of mommy, and was a spoiled little brat. And so I was like, where's the schools for boys, or where is that male leadership in the schools when they're young? So tell me about your school, what ages, and kind of why did you even start that?
Okay, well the school we're referring to is called Mini-Men Pre-K. It's an all boys preschool. We have 3 to 5-year-olds, and the concept behind the school, there's two-folded concepts. This one is kindergarten readiness. We want to make sure that we get these boys prepared for kindergarten. Also, the other concept is to expose them to positive male role models. What I found in my community, that we think that the only thing we can do is play sports or be in entertainment, which are great. But I want to expose these boys to doctors, lawyers, pediatricians, engineers, a lot of different things. So if I expose these things at an early age, we plant those seeds early that, sports is great, but it's not the end-all, be-all. So we're an all-day preschool. We go from 7 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. We have both male and female teachers in the classroom. And the concept behind the school, once again, is not to teach our boys to be tough. I don't believe in that concept at all. We just want to make sure we expose them to as many positive male things as possible. They get a lot of love from their moms, their grandmas, their aunties, their uncles, but we need to show that other side. And it's just an amazing school, not because of me, it's because the parents have bought into what I believe in, how important education is. And another reason why I started the school is I worked with a local school here, and it's about 2 years ago, and we brought in about 55 to 60 kindergartners. And out of those kindergartners, we probably had about 6 that were actually ready for kindergarten. The rest of them spent time at a daycare or at home where they ran, jumped, and screamed the entire time. So now this year, we put them into a format of a kindergarten setting. They've never been in there before. So they're doing the same thing they were doing the year previous to that. And what happens is a lot of those kids get labeled as behavior issues, medicine. It has nothing to do with that. It's a matter of putting them in a structured environment prior to them going to kindergarten. I mean, once again, if you just take any of us and say, okay, boom, do this now, you have no experience doing it, it's going to be tough for you. So the same thing with our kids. If you take a 5-year-old who's never been in a structured environment, who's never had to sit still, sit in a line, cross his legs, do all those things, and now say, okay, now do them today, and if you don't do them today, you're going to be suspended, or you have medical issues, they're going to struggle with that. So the concept behind my school, Mini-Men, is to develop those boys to get those concepts together now in preschool, so once they go to kindergarten, they're ready to go.
And you know what, and I appreciate you for doing that. I used to teach kindergarten.
Of course, yes.
When my kids were little, and I thought, this is like daycare.
Yes.
Because they would be crying. Because they're used to falling out and crying with grandma, mama, auntie, whoever when they don't get their way. And 20 little kids with one assistant, and boys too, are very rowdy and jumping around and hitting the girls because they like them. I was like, oh my God. So thank you for that, for all the kindergarten teachers that are waiting for these boys that are graduating from your school, because then that's going to be easier for them. And I would not necessarily put, because I had worked with a lot of special needs kids in the foster system and things, so I had a little bit of knowledge. So I wouldn't necessarily put boys, send them down to the teacher and the principal and the dean and in the corner and stuff, because I did understand where it was coming from, but it's only so much you can do. So on behalf of all the teachers out there that teach kindergarten, we thank you and your staff and the parents and everybody that's involved. So Indianapolis is not the only location that you have. where else do you have your school?
Well, I have what's called a Pre-K University, and that's a school for boys and girls.
Okay.
And that location is actually on 53rd and Hillside.
Now that's new.
Yeah, that's new. That's
Oh,
new. Yeah,
look
that's
at
new.
you.
That's why I said we'll open our doors on Monday for the first time.
Oh.
We partnered with Ace Prep Academy, which is a charter school on the north side of town, and we are putting our school inside of there.
Okay.
And that's for boys and girls. But the same concept, everything still applies. Once again, it's kindergarten readiness. We have to get these kids ready for kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen too many times where we have kindergarten classes where the teacher's not teaching kindergarten material, teaching preschool material.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that kid gets to first grade, they're
Yeah.
not doing first grade, they're doing kindergarten, so they're
Mm-hmm.
always behind.
Yeah.
So my main objective is to get as many kids as possible ready for kindergarten. Once you start that foundation, once you get those skills down pat, then they're ready to excel, ready to exceed. But we have to get that first. There's certain things that you should know prior to going to kindergarten. You should know how to count. You should know how to separate numbers. You should know your colors. You should know your. And one thing I teach my parents now, and I have parents come in all the time. My kid knows the alphabet, the numbers, and I explain to them that their kid knows a song.
Right.
A lot of kids know the song A, B, C, D.
Yeah, they know
but
the song.
they can't identify. And
Okay.
that's what we work on. It's not singing songs, but actually identifying shapes, colors, numbers, and alphabets. Once again, they can sing the song A, B, C, they remember everything, but you tell them where's the C or what it sounds like. Have no idea.
Absolutely.
So our whole concept, once again, is kindergarten readiness, where we have a set of things that we've talked to kindergarten teachers and say, what do you want kids to know prior to coming to your doors? So those are the things we focus on at our preschool. So we have the mini-man, we do that, and then Pre-K University, we do that also.
So the Pre-K University opens the doors on this Monday.
Yes, this Monday. Yes.
And so you've already had students enrolled,
Yes.
girls and boys.
Yes.
And this is for preschool girls and boys, or what's the age range for the
3 to 5
university?
year old for this also.
3 to 5, okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you,
So
thank
you're
you.
coming in 2019 with a bang.
Yeah, I know it's a holiday and it's Martin Luther King Day, but I think he'd be proud of me.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that I'm starting the school on his day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of worked out that way based on a lot of logistics. Didn't plan it initially to start on this day, but kind of logistically it worked that way. So I figured.
And parents are probably like, oh, yeah, we love this school. Everybody else is closed. They're open. Bam, put them in there.
Yes.
So do you have the numbers, like how many students can you have?
Yes, so we can have a total of 40 students.
Okay, at the university.
At the university.
Okay.
Yes. Right now we have 22.
Okay.
I wanted to start out with a small number initially.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's a start-out school, so I don't want to just jam right in there. The cool part about it is it's kind of bitter and sweet. I'm taking 2 of my staff from Miniman
Okay.
to go teach over there because I wanted someone that's been in the system,
Yeah.
been around what I've done, kind of bought into our culture
Yeah.
to go over there, start over there. And of course, we have our staff that's still there at Miniman, so we made sure we made a smooth transition. But I am taking 2 from that to go over there to that school.
So when we were in the lobby, somebody asked you about employment. So where do you get your teachers from? Are these people that you have just known and you trust, or just regular people that just stop in?
That's a great question. The reason why that's a great question is because, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Initially, I thought that I wanted like these staunch veterans that've been in the pre-K world for 30, 40 years. But what I
I'm
found,
not gonna say that,
I
but
know,
never mind.
but I found that I want fresh ideas, fresh minds. I want open mind. I think that for years the pre-K setting has been babysitting mentality, and I don't want that in my schools. We're teaching, and I pay our staff, accordingly. But I don't want babysitters. So I'm really on, early child development as far as them getting their education, them going to school forward, and them actually buying into what we're doing there. Because we don't just sit and watch the kids play.
Right.
We're on the ground with them. We're having creating activities for them. We do our one-on-ones with our scholars. And that's kind of, when you say employees, it's really tough. But once I get them in the door, they buy in. But I'm just not going to hire anybody to babysit our scholars. I want to make sure they're bought into what we believe in. And once again, it's not babysitting, it's actually educating these kids every single day.
And I love that you call these little 3 and 5-year-old scholars.
Yes.
That's adorable. And that's a confidence booster,
Yes.
for somebody to be 3 and 5 being called a scholar. That's amazing.
Yeah, I tell them that you're not only learning here, you're going to learn wherever you go, whether it's at church, at the park, wherever you're learning something, try to learn something. So that's why I kind of graphed that concept of scholar.
Okay. So while we're here, again, you guys, you're tuned in to Unity in the Community. We're here with the former NFL player Corey Parchman and the founder of Mini-Men Pre-K, what is it, Learning Academy?
Yeah, Mini-Men Pre-K Leadership Academy.
Leadership Academy,
Yes.
And then, of course, you got the university.
Pre-K
What's
University.
the Pre-K University coming
Yes.
up here? And if you guys want to go to the website while we're here talking and just kind of briefly look through, what is the website so people can kind of join what we're talking about?
The one is prekuacademy.org.
Okay.
And the second one is minimenleadershipacademy.org.
Okay.
I would say the easiest way is to get on Facebook.
Oh.
And look up the website from there. I mean, it's easy to put in Mini-Men on Facebook and find it.
Okay.
It's easy to put in Pre-K University. Or you can go to my page, Corey Parchman. You can find the link somewhere. That's kind of the way I've done it. And you can get as much information from there, or you should give us a call. And the numbers are all on the website. We'll have someone contact you to give more information about the school.
Yeah.
And we have, the cool part about our school also is like a lot of our scholars come from references, and I take pride in that. Like, it's a big deal for a family to recommend another family.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of even though, as you know, as a business owner, sometimes you don't feel like you're making all the right decisions, and you're just like, am I doing this right, doing this right? But when parents recommend other families, like, hey, I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
So that also gives me a vote of confidence. Say, you know what, keep doing what you're believing in, because obviously the parents are believing in it, and it's making sense. And then when I see kids come back from other schools to come see me, I'm like, yeah, maybe we're doing something right here.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's tough sometimes. Like I said, I get on my employees, and they love me, but at the same time, they know that I'm serious about education. So that's why it's like, hey, we have to do this every single day. And once again, you sometimes feel like, am I too hard, or am I not doing it right? I'm trying to second guess yourself. But when a parent refers another family, or when a student comes back to see me and say, hey, you know, this is what's going on now, I'm like, well, maybe we're doing something right here. Let's continue this pace and speed.
And that's a big confidence booster for you as, a founder, a leader, or whatever, because people really, really, their kids are their pride and joy.
Yes, yes.
And so, for somebody to trust you with them and then turn around and advise somebody else or refer somebody else is like, okay, so I'm on the right track. That's good, which is always great. So, guys, like I said, if you want to go to the Facebook page, like that page, scroll through, find out information while we're talking. I know sometimes you hear something and then you think, oh, I want to go back, you forget. So go ahead and like that page right now so that you'll be able to have the information, refer that to anyone that has a young one that is between the ages of 3 and 5 years old. So, Corey, now, so we got the 2 locations here, but what's going on in Miami?
So I have a Mini-Men also in Miami also.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit about the difference between those 2 locations, if you offer the same exact thing, right here on Unity in the Community. We'll be right back. In the community again. I'm Angel Starks, filling in for Pastor Jackson, here with former NFL player Corey Parchman, and we're just talking about some of the amazing things that he has brought to Indianapolis, which is a pre-K academy for boys aged 3 to 5, and now he has a pre-K university for males and females ages 3 to 5 here in Indianapolis. So why don't you join us? Again, if this is any information that you would want to share with someone or someone that is possibly could use these education services, please share that. So Corey, now again, you have one in Miami. So now for me, I would be like, okay, let me get somebody else up here to run this one in Indy. I might just stay in Miami and run this one because this is where I need to be. How do you travel back and forth quite a bit?
Well, there's 2 folds to that also. The one in Miami, actually, a good friend of mine is running that for me.
Okay.
I think the reason why I'm passionate and one about the one in Indianapolis because I'm from here.
That's true.
And these kids like someone from my area, my neighborhood. So it's a little bit different. And I love both of them. We're doing a great thing in both places. But it's something about Indianapolis, seeing kids that are you pretty much. And being work with them. And also I have other businesses here. So it kind of benefits me twofold with my other companies that I'm able to be here. Not only just to run Mini-Men, but also run my other companies.
Okay.
Definitely want to move back to Miami. I had a plan set up in 3 years. I was going to open Mini-Men and move back to Miami, but they have that saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans. So we're in year 4 with Mini-Men. I'm still here opening another school up. So it's kind of I'm really into meditation and being present, and it's kind of like letting God lead you. So it's like, well, instead of saying, I want to do this and that, let's just go with the flow and keep working hard. So that's kind of where
I like how you just shut my little selfish vision of what I would do if I were you. You brought that thing right back around. That's great, though.
But nah, it's serious because, like, you learn that, early on. I learned the NFL because, you have these goals. Like, I want to play NFL for 30 years and score 50 touchdowns, do all these things. And then what happens is you don't do that. Well, what happens is you got to learn to appreciate what you did do. So what I want to do now is not say what I want to do. If it doesn't happen, not appreciate it. I want to accept whatever happens and be able to appreciate that. So I've learned really early to just kind of like, set goals, have plans, but at the same time, enjoy the process. So if it doesn't go the way you particularly wanted it to go, you still can embrace and enjoy what you learned from those experiences. So, but with that being said, I'm going back to Miami. I'm definitely getting back there at some point in time, on a consistent basis.
Okay, I figured you did. Now, I've seen on the Facebook page and on the website that you have male visitors or volunteers that come through with the boys. Tell me about that. What type of, what do you have to do that? And what are some of the experiences with the males that come through and sit with the boys or talk with them?
Great question. So we have, once again, the whole concept, to me personally, is I want to show our boys we can be more than athletes. I know it's great to be in football leagues and basketball, that's fine. But I've seen too many of us not make it to the pros and feel like my life isn't fulfilled, or make it to the pros and have no clue who the heck you are once you're done playing. What I want to do is give these boys a sense of security, a base of, okay, I'm more than just this, I'm more than just that, I can be more than that. So what I want to do is expose them to as many careers as possible, an engineer, doctor, lawyer. And when it comes to us bringing in positive male role models, it's any man that take care of themselves and their family is a positive role model. So whether you're the trash man, the mailman, whatever, if you're taking care of your family and yourself, that's a positive role model.
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to be these astronomical careers to be great. You can be anything as long as you're taking care of your family and yourself. So we bring people in, different athletes have come in, doctors have come in. We've had CE Airmen come in and talk to them. And the cool part about, we have what's called Back in My Day. So we're bringing an older gentleman to our school to come and talk to our boys. So one older gentleman came in and told our boys that when he was a kid, he played a game called Kick the Can. And of course, I knew what it was, but I've never played it. So of course, this kid had no clue what he was talking about. So we actually went outside and found some cans, and we kicked the can. They had a ball. Oh. Once again, it's trying to gauge these generational gaps. Some of us don't have dads. I don't have grandfathers. So this is the way we can kind of bridge that generational gap and say, okay, yeah, we have this right here, but there was a generation before us, and they did these great things. So let's make them relevant again and bring them back and say, okay, let's hear those stories. Let's hear those things, because I believe in, the past can teach you a lot. One thing about learning from other people, older people, you can find out what to do and what not to do. So there's a generation that's ahead of me that has a wealth of knowledge. So I want to make sure I expose these boys to those things. So like I said, we bring in those groups to come in and talk to and speak to and just share stories with them. And our dads have been great. My dads have been great coming in and reading stories to our boys. So not only do I have to I don't have to go outside and find these people. We have dads right in our building right now to come and read stories. And I say, you don't have to be the best reader in the world, just being present. You know what I mean? Some of my dad's like, no, I won't read. I'm like, well, just come in color or something. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to read sometimes. Because you got to do the voice and everything. See John run.
You do.
Like, what?
Yeah, so, you're super animated.
Yeah, so just come in and draw with them or just share. You don't understand how that positive energy can transform and go so many different places. And like I said, we have some amazing, amazing, amazing moms, amazing grandmoms, amazing sisters. We need to make sure we hold our ground and step up. So that's why we make sure we bring in as many as possible to support.
And can people, they can just call and say, hey, I'm Angel and I want to come out and speak to your boys or your girls, and they can just set it up that way.
Yes, and everything is on the website or on Facebook. You can call us. One thing about when we bring people in, because we're a center. So there are a lot of restrictions on who we can have in our building. So anyone that comes and talks have to have a background check in order to come check. So that's the only thing. Once you come in, you get the background check done, then come on in and talk. So it's an easy process. It takes about 2 days, 3 days to get the process. But if you really want to do it, it's worth those 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, just contact our enrollment coordinator. She can get everything straightened out for you. You need paperwork, have it filled out, and come back in. And
What's the number again?
It's 317-480-0138.
Okay, so if you're looking for some volunteer opportunities to give back to the community and to our leaders that are in training, then you can call the number and get set up to go and do that.
Yeah.
So you know, you've been doing some speaking. I had no, last time I talked to you, I seen you do a piece where you were speaking, but then I seen on social media because I Googled you. You're Googleable.
Yeah.
And I seen that you were doing some speaking, I think in San Francisco or somewhere. And what was it? I think it was is it dodging labels?
Yeah,
or
dodging labels.
Dodging.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the labels that were placed on you and maybe your journey. How did you overcome those? Because I know grown adults that are wrapped around in labels and they just do not know how to break free. So if you're able to be able to do that at a young age, you know, talk to us about that.
Yeah, so one of my topics is about dodging labels, and we all get labeled at some point in time in our life, but it's not letting those labels to control you or dictate where you're going. You decide where you're going. And I remember one of the stories I tell in that is my dad passed away when I was 9, and I began to get in trouble in school. And I remember a counselor. It's so funny. This is the,
you sound like you was a little tough little cookie. When I hear your stories.
And so let me tell you this.
And
this is why I started school too also. Certain things, and this is true, certain things I believe can get mislabeled and turn into something totally different. So as a kid, I never did anything. I never talked back. I never fought, anything like that. I just talked too much.
Okay.
And to me, that's not bad. That's something you got to learn. But if someone says your child is being disruptive and leave it at that, my mom thought I was throwing chairs out the window or things like that. So it became this trickle-down effect that he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. So the label of, when I said a counselor that I would go see, you know, I heard talking to someone else, she said that, you know, since his father died, you know, he was going to be dead or in jail. He's just a bad kid.
Isn't that a horrible thing? Can you imagine now as an adult, if that was your child and you came home and said, hey, my counselor said this.
Yeah.
Fox 59 News. You hear me? You cannot get away with saying stuff like that.
And once again, as a 9-year-old, you think that's true. Adult said it must be true.
For sure.
But I had a great teacher. Her name is Miss Edna May. I don't know where she is now. She was my 4th grade teacher. She caught me in the hallway one day, and I told her, I repeated that back to her, that that's who I was. I was a bad kid. And that infuriated her. She was upset. And she looked me in the face. She said, don't let me ever hear you say that again. She said, you decide who you are, not labels. And that breathed life into me because, you know, that little second of time let me know that I'm going to get labeled my entire life. I decide, you know, to either I'm going to breathe that or I'm going to let it go. So another situation where I was labeled was in high school. I was a really, really great athlete in high school, but my grades were horrible.
Okay.
I was getting recruited by everybody that you can count. But once they saw my grades, they were like, we're not good. That's okay, buddy. We'll find somebody else.
It's okay, buddy.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll find someone else. So every scholarship that I had offered got withdrawn.
Oh,
you
man.
Think as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, that's like heart-wrenching.
How'd you bounce back from that?
So I remember going to one of my coaches, and I asked him, like, you know, what do I do now? I'm shut down. I don't have any money for college. You know, what do I do now? And he told me, he said, you're just like every other inner-city athlete. You're smart. You're great in sports, but you're not smart enough to go to college. And if you do go to college,
what's the use of these people with me?
Yeah, I mean, that's
wow.
What happens is, and what I end up being was called a Prop 48. And a Prop 48 means you can go to college, but you can't play your first year. And statistically, most guys that do that flunk out.
Okay.
So he was just being real with me, but I'm not sure. I think I may have said it a little different. But yeah, he told me. He said, just like every other inner city athlete.
Okay.
You're smart to play ball, but you either won't go to college or you'll flunk out before you go.
Okay. Well, you guys, you're tuned in right here on the Unity in the Community AM 1310 The Light. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more with Corey Parchman. You guys, we're back right here on Unity in the Community. We thank you for joining us here as I'm sitting in for Pastor Jackson. I hope that today's show has been informational for you and that you guys are being entertained and being safe out there in the storm that is underway and coming in certain areas of Indianapolis. I'm here with former NFL Corey Parchman, and he's talking about his Pre-K Academy and Pre-K University here in Indianapolis. And Corey, before we went to break, we were talking about some of your speaking engagements that you have had, speaking on dodging labels and some of the experiences that you've experienced with that, how kind of you've overcame those. And another question that I had for you was going back just a little bit. We kind of know why you created the school, just some of your experiences, seeing some things, seeing that there was a need. But when you just created or came up with your new school, which is the Pre-K University, how much work was that, and how long did it take you guys to get that going before we open the doors here on Martin Luther King Day? So I just got, this is a message, a question on social media. And her name is Patricia Major, is wanting to know, how hard is that to start a school?
I would give a shameless plug. I got a book coming out about how to start your own school.
We're releasing it all. This is
shameless plug here. It's already finished. But no, it's a process like anything else. I think that I start out with writing down the goals, what's the major goals, and then each day I write down goals for that day, how to get to that finishing goal. So I think it's about just, putting a plan together and just working that plan until it works itself.
Okay.
Just the way it is. It's a process, just with licensing, marketing. I knew this would be a little more difficult marketing because many of the niche, you hear the word all boys preschool, that's going to stand out. It's
Absolutely.
only one of those.
Yeah.
And you hear about that one thing, it's going to like spread because it's only one of those. Mm-hmm. Now being, one of many preschool programs, the way I'm separating myself with this is called Pre-K, it's a kindergarten readiness school. So we focus on kindergarten readiness. So if you're a parent that's looking to get out of having your kid inside of a home daycare or at a daycare school where they just not as structured, this is what I'm for. And then also legislation just passed a law last year that you have to be 5 by a certain date in order to go to kindergarten. Before you can be 4 and get in, or 5 within September. Now you have to be 5 by August 1. So what happens is you have certain kids that are 5 August 2nd.
You're right.
Can't go to kindergarten.
Wow.
Well, they've already been inside of a preschool before. What's for them? So this is kind of set up for them to say, okay, you may not be in kindergarten yet, but we're going to get you to the closest thing possible to kindergarten. But back to the question of the process, once again, like anything else, you got to put a plan together and work it. And the cool part about now, we have so much information out there from YouTube to Facebook, so you can do your own research. You don't even need a college degree anymore. I guess you do, but you don't. To me, because like if you want to open a daycare up, it's like you can just YouTube how to open a daycare up. You can Google it and just put that time in, and like it's work. I think that people might see the other side of it. And something else I do, I read a lot of memoir books of other entrepreneurs because you want to hear what they go through. Because there's certain days, once again, I feel like, am I doing the right thing? Well, now I read a book about Phil Knight, who founded Nike, and how that almost went out of business 15, 20 times. So then you hear those stories about how they've struggled with their business and how they kept persevering. So it gives you that little glimpse of, okay, maybe this is not going good now, but let's see the other side of it. So I would say, once again, just to plan things out, set goals, and get around other entrepreneurs, people that are actually doing it or have done it. You got to separate some people who haven't done it before, because they can tell you everything you can't do. But someone that's actually involved and has done it and failed at it, they're going to be your best person to talk to. Like I said, just try not to be around people who haven't done it. They're great and they may have, their intentions may be good, but at the same time, I want to be around someone who's actually done it and failed at it, or done it and succeeded at it. I can learn from them. They can tell you the inside of doing the business. So.
And so how you had to already you have some credibility already as a founder of a school because of the pre-K with the boys, so that's good. But then there was a demand for it. People were asking, are you going to do something for girls? Were people asking about that, and that's why you're like, okay, let's do this?
Yes, I saw the demand as people asking me about that, and then also I felt like that. As much as I was doing good for boys, I was only doing it for a certain amount. So let's just open it up for everyone. Many men will always be there. It serves its purpose for what it does. At the same time, I want to be able to work with both boys and girls. Now, people ask me all the time, it's not open for all girls. I'm like, no way, I can't do that just because I don't understand it.
Okay.
I don't get,
I don't understand girls. I get it.
I love them to death, but it's like, boys I can get because we're digging our nose, we fall on the ground, we spinning on, we coughing, all those things I get. I just don't understand. So I said, hey, let's put them all together and we get some great staff in there and we do boys and girls.
Okay. Now in Indianapolis, you're the only all-boy pre-K school, right? Do you know?
In the country.
In the country.
Yeah.
So correct me if you will. In the country, honey.
Pre-K, yes.
Pre-K. That's amazing. So Patricia, there's your answer there. We thank you for tuning in right now, and we appreciate that. And so, you know, everything has seemed like it's coming together for you. Yes. It's the beginning of 2019. Again, you're my very first guest here on AM 1310. What else do you have going on? Will you spend the remaining of your year just continuing to work on both schools, or are you doing anything else? And I had another question from David Washington wanting to know about your speaking engagements. Is that something that you do just only for companies, or how, you know, do you do that?
Well,
regular.
Yeah. Well, the speaking engagements, I shared with Angel before that I am a nervous wreck prior to my speaking engagement. And I've done graduations, I've done, you know, college graduations, high school graduations. I've done a lot. I'm a nervous wreck, so I kind of shy away from those major speaking engagements. But if someone wanted me to, you know, come talk to a church group or kids, I'm all for that.
Okay.
You know, speaking engagement, I do them, of course. But I'm more comfortable in a smaller setting, and I can get like eye to eye with people. So I'm always open to share knowledge. I think it's important that I, you know, share what I've learned with others. So, you know, as far as speaking, you know, I definitely go out. I think that I was on my agent had got some calls about speaking engagements. And normally with corporations, we have a premium we charge to do speaking engagements because the corporates can pay them, they pay that.
Right.
So someone called from a church, and they told her the fee it was, and she called mother and like, I know him, I know he's gonna charge me that. Like,
I used to babysit Corey.
Yeah, she went through the wrong protocol. You gotta call moms for that speaking engagement. You can't call my agent because they're gonna give you a rate. You know, so you know, definitely if you're a corporation, you call my agent and they can hook you up. But if you're somebody we know from the neighborhood or the area or a church, just give me a call. Give my mom a call. Give the church a call. We can swing it. But yeah, but if
that's hilarious.
Yeah. She called and they gave her the corporate rate, and she about fell out and think she like.
Oh, Corey on that high horse. You know he had not charged the church members that much. That's funny.
I was like, no.
But I want to say though, if I had not seen, I came to the event early so we can set up our cameras last year, and I seen you sitting over in the seats by yourself and just trying to, you know, collect yourself and prepare and just make sure you're ready. And of course, people are like, there's Corey. They want to come over, they want to talk, they want to ask you all kinds of questions, and you're trying to get your mind prepared. If I had not seen you, you know, needing that space and kind of whatever, going through your deal, I would not know that you were nervous. When I see you speak, I've seen you in person, I've seen you online, you seem very comfortable, and it was a huge crowd of people, and so I wouldn't have known that. So, you know, you pull it together once you get on there. If you're like me, when I do any stand-up comedy, I feel like I'm going to pass out or I catch the flu or I'm just going to die right then. And as soon as I step on stage, though, it all goes away. So that means we love it, I guess. So yes, guys. So again, you know, everything is on the website. So everything is on the website. I'm sure if people DM or leave comments, there'll be someone to respond there for, you know, all the questions and things like that. I really can't go through all the social media posts right now, but we appreciate you guys so much. And then the second question: what's going on for 2019? Well, I'm sure your school's going to take up quite a bit of the time, but
so
give
definitely.
Me a sneak peek.
Going to spend a lot of energy in my schools. I'm really passionate about that. I'm also passionate about my other businesses also. You know, I own like several real estate here in Indianapolis, so consistently building my real estate portfolio and acquiring more apartment buildings. That's what I specialize in.
Do you knock on people's door and get the money orders? Are you like that?
No, there's a point in time where you kind of grow from that. In the beginning, I have a brother named Armando. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I came across him on social media. I said, this guy look like Corey.
Yeah, so him and I first started out in real estate together, and we're still, you know, doing business together, and that's what we were doing. We were the guys who collected the rent, and he was like ahead of the game as far as thinking wise. You know, I pull up in my Mercedes to collect the rent. He was like, you can't do that because they're going to be like, you got the money, we need to pay you.
Yeah,
so he
tell him way home.
Yeah, he got this like old raggedy truck.
Yeah.
And he would tell them like he was like the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
And he had no issues collecting rent.
Right.
So I figured like, that
and
makes
when
a
you
lot
pull
of
up,
sense.
they give you the sad story.
Yeah.
You know, I need to get my kids some boots, and I got this.
That story, So shout out to Armando. Yeah, he hit me to like, hey, this guy like. So now I have a property management company.
Okay.
They do everything for me. They collect the rent, they fix any maintenance issues, any tenant issues, they do all that, they cut the line, things like that. So my hands off. So now my job is to acquire more real estate. So that's my specialty. Initially, you know, we started out, you know, renting houses out, but I found out it'd be, you know, you got house here, house there, it's all over the place. Well, if you get one apartment building, you may have 8 to 10 units in that one building. So now you can collect from that. So now I specialize in this in an apartment building. So I want to continue to, you know, increase my portfolio as far as real estate because I'm really passionate about that also. I want to leave a legacy for that.
And on an entrepreneur vibe, though, when you think about, like you said, maybe before you even got into real estate, maybe you didn't maybe appreciate it or know what all went into it, or if you ever had experience with it, then you're kind of like, But then when you get into it, you learn so much and you respect it so much. And so if you ever meet somebody else that's doing what you like, you know, it's so much respect that you have for them. And like you said, you used to knock on the doors, you had to learn the game, and now you have, you know, seen so much growth in it, and you do things differently. But it just makes you respect the game so much more when you go through doing stuff hands-on yourself and not having a support team. So that's
why it's important, like I said before, if you want to have a circle of people to talk to the ones that have done it or are doing it, because they can understand what you're going through, and they can appreciate what you're going through, and they can also share with you, well, when I did it this time, this worked a little better because they actually done it. So like I said, make sure you surround yourself with people who actually done it. And let's say you got to find somebody that's out of business now. You can learn so much from them because they were actually in the business. So those are the things you got to make sure you're important of, like just surround yourself. Now, you can have some great aunties and cousins that are great aunties and cousins, but leave it at that. Don't put the business in there. And if they had a business, that's great, but if they haven't had a business, I wouldn't have them as my advisors. Get advisors who've actually done the business.
Preach.
And I'm not just saying had a business card and when you got an LLC, EIN number. I'm saying we actually had a business and was running it.
That's right.
And they can actually tell you what it's really like. Because I'm sure you too. I can share some story with you. Like there are times like, am I in the right thing? But then you persevere through that. Someone else not been in the business, they might be like, oh, that's easy. I can just do this. I'm like,
Corey, look, I actually was my mother had a daycare and I was a director, and we had all family. A hot mess. So I'm the director and the baby. They're not listening to me. I'm like, you can't whip these kids, Grandma. You know, you have to wear gloves. And it's just, you know, that mixture of, you love your family, but keep them separate. You preached on that word. Take that advice if you don't take anything.
And if you decide that, you guys have a great enough idea where it's, you know, you can do business with family members, sign a contract as if they were somebody you just met. And it's not for I don't trust you. It's just in case there's any kind of misunderstanding, we have this in writing. And that way you guys can keep a relationship. Because if you don't have a contract, well, I thought you were going to do, I thought, and it becomes something totally different. So I'm telling you, like, don't sign the contract because you can't trust them or...
I don't trust them, Corey. I'll just say that on my
side. It's just to protect yourself.
On my daddy them side, I ain't going to be able to do it.
But it's just to protect yourself to say, okay, just in case something goes wrong, we have it set in place. We know what each other's responsibility was. It'll keep the relationship, you know, intact. You're gonna have your arguments anyway, but that way, if you have a contract that states everyone's responsibility or the money spent, all that already in place, that's gonna cut down a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to business.
Okay. 2 more quick questions before we are ready to close out here on Unity in the Community. I'm here with Corey Parchman, Angel Starks filling in for Pastor Jackson. So I feel like you should, I don't know why I think you should be doing acting or something. I feel like you should be in a movie or a commercial. Is that not a part of your thing? I filmed you before. You're great on camera. Is that just not a part of what you want to be doing?
Just never thought much about it.
Really?
No, not at all. I think that if someone came out of the sky and said, do it, I'd do it for that day. But I think when you're so focused on your business and other things, you're like, this is what I do for it. I do these things. And to put energy over there, not sure how much I would have to do that. And I believe in anything you do, you have to put everything.
Well, I don't think you should be like a full-time movie star, but I feel like you should be on some brands or a commercial because you're such a positive, you know, person in the community. Getting back and even doing real estate is giving people, you know, nice places to live. It's still giving back in a lot of different ways. So. So I'm going to be thinking on that. You should be doing somebody's commercial brand or something.
I haven't thought about it right now,
And then I know you spoke briefly about the book. Can you speak any more on it? Anything about the book?
Well, I have 2 books coming out. One is called, you know, How to Start Your Own Preschool. Okay. And it kind of gives you a step-by-step. And the reason why I felt this book was important because when I wanted to start mine, there are nothing out there that you know what to do. Like, there are like certain things, but it just... Nothing that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's more like, well, you have to do this, have to do that. When do I do this? When do I do that? This kind of streamlines to say, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. So anyone that's looking to, and that book will be out soon. You'll definitely get the promo for that. And then I have another book coming out called No Mentors, and this talks about how you have to find within you. And I think that oftentimes we look for outside sources to help us out. But God has given us everything we need in ourselves. So it's digging in within inside you to find out what you need to help you out, through this life. So it's a good book. I'm really passionate about that book. Like I said, it's a personal story. It's a personal memoir of how different aspects of my life where there was no one there that I can say, what about this? Because, all the first college person to go to college in my family. No one I knew around me went to college. So it's like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah.
All the first person in my family, anybody I knew to go to the NFL. Well, how do you figure that out? All the first person in my family that owned their own company. How do you figure it out? So it's like each one of those steps, I had to figure those things out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I had a great brother, Armando, that was there. At the same time, there were certain things that he hadn't experienced yet. So all the first wanted to experience certain things. So it's like, how do you figure those things out? So that's why the book is called No Mentors.
Awesome.
It's digging within to find those tools to get you where you need to go.
Well, Corey, I appreciate you sharing that. I know I had to sneak a little leak in there, but just wanted to get it all out there. So again, I appreciate you spending time with me and the listeners here on Unity in the Community. We appreciate you. And if you could, again, give your social media page. Guys, tune in to some of the things that he has going on. You don't want to miss when the books come out. You want to get all the information for any pre-K age child that may need school, education, and structure. You want to reach out to Corey's university and the Pre-K Academy. So give us your social media again so people, because everything's pretty much there.
Yeah, everything's social media. You can go to, me, Corey Parchman. You can find a lot of information about both my schools. Mini Men Pre-K. You can go to Facebook and find that. Pre-K University Academy, go to Facebook and find that. So those things are all on there. But if you can't remember the name of those schools, just go to Corey Parchman.
Okay.
And just scroll my page and you can find on there where you can find my school. And you can find some great comments from our parents. And I think that's our biggest selling point of what we're doing is when you go to our Mini Men page, the comments our parents make about the school. So just check it out if you get a chance.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, you guys, before we close out, I want to give you a little fun casting. There's a casting I'm directing, writing, funding for Loving Me is Knowing Me, and it's a couples talk show and game show similar to the Newlyweds. If you want to be one of the contestants on the show, you want to call 317-572-7052, and you can just leave your information there, your contact information, a little bit about you and your partner. There's no discrimination there. If you love them and you know them and you think you know them better than the back of your hand or better than they know their self, you want to be a part of the show. It's all going to be web-based. You can be anywhere. So it's a worldwide casting call, and we're going to start filming that thing on February 3rd. It's going to be a great time. And we have some amazing sponsors that are going to be sponsoring all of our prizes. And so basically you get points for knowing the person that you're with, knowing who you love. If you know the question and you get it right and he gets it right or she gets it right, you get a point. And then at the end we'll tally those up and you will win prizes. So again, Loving Me is Knowing Me, the new game show that I'm going to be doing for about 6 weeks, a private contract and project that I'm working on. I ask that you support. And I didn't think that there's a lot out there for married people and people in long-term relationships. Everything is a girls group or a guys group. But what about the people that are sharing their lives together? And so I want to do something for you guys. So again, you can dial 317-572-7052 to be a part of that show, starting filming on February the 3rd. And you would film from the comfort of your own home. And again, thank you for tuning in to Unity in the Community. I'm Angel Starks, filling in for Pastor Jackson. And we want to see you right here on next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can go to my Facebook page, and there's a link there if you ever want to live stream there, or if you're on your car driving around, you can also tune in on AM 1310 The Light there. And we'll see you here next week, same time, same place.